Hey, what's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and we are back, eventually, sort of, for episode 3 of the Shockcast. We're a little delayed. We've thought about it, meant to do it. We figured, hey, it's Thanksgiving, and we're thankful for all of our patient listeners. So let's go ahead and bounce right into it. Here with Madman Mark. How you doing today, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm having a good day.
Excellent. Lots of turkey, I hope?
Yeah, buddy. Gobble, gobble.
Absolutely. So, exciting times in the world of gaming. We've got 2 new consoles out officially worldwide. Xbox One, PlayStation 4. I personally have both of them, and I know you have the Xbox One.
Yes,
so,
sir.
How are you feeling about it so far?
I love it, man. I love it. I'm also, probably more happy that it was a pretty clean launch.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there are definitely, any launch is going to have its fair share of hiccups and issues, and there are definitely some coffins going out for both consoles. But all things considered, I think it could have been a lot worse.
It's been worse. I mean, the 360
yeah.
guy, she played with a whole party of people for almost at least 4 days. Yeah, at first we could only launch with one other person. You wouldn't be able to find a game if you had any more than one in your party. So significantly better in terms, in terms of launch successes. What I hear, I feel like the Xbox is doing a little bit better as far as that's concerned. Less games freezing.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you that I've got Battlefield 4. We're going to talk about a little bit, but I've got it on both platforms, and I can tell you that one's definitely performing a little bit better than the other, but they both have their issues. So let me talk a little bit, since I'm the only one with a PlayStation 4, I definitely want to talk about it a little bit. I think in terms of both consoles, the graphics are phenomenal. There's definitely a very noticeable difference between the last generation and this one. I think PlayStation 4 has a slight edge from what I can see. Battlefield 4 being a classic example where I've played it on both consoles. I can definitely see I can see slight differences. It's not really massive yet, so I don't really think it's anything that would hold anybody back from buying an Xbox over a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you need to see every blade of grass, then maybe you got to get a PlayStation 4. I don't know.
So what about user interface though? Compare the two of those.
Yeah, I hate the I've never been a fan of the PlayStation user interface. The crossbar was just all cluttered and confusing on the PlayStation 3. This one is definitely condensed, so excuse me. And in some regards, it's easier to navigate, but I'm still not a big fan.
Is it customizable at all?
It's not.
So, I mean,
you really.
The tiles of the One are probably a little bit more handy then.
I would say so. I think with PlayStation 4, they've got all the right ideas. Sony is a hardware manufacturer. Software has really never been their thing.
Right.
So, and with Microsoft, it's kind of like the complete opposite, where they're a software company and hardware has not always been their strength. And it shows in both consoles. You can tell that Microsoft has the. I want to take a step back and say I definitely prefer a lot of things about the 360 dashboard more than this one. But in the grand scheme of things, this one is still leaps and bounds above the PlayStation 4. One of the big things that I do like about the PlayStation 4 with the DualShock 4 is it's got like this kind of cool touchpad on the actual remote. I haven't really done a whole lot useful with it yet. In Killzone Shadowfall, you've got this little droid that you can send out, and you can just kind of flick it, and it'll change what the droid does. I mean, that's pretty basic, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's definitely got some potential.
Yeah, the iceberg type stuff.
Yeah, so I mean that's cool. Overall, though, I mean I think the Xbox One controller is the best controller ever made.
Oh man, I'm so happy with this controller. I mean, it takes a little bit of getting used to like the extra yaw that's on the thumbsticks.
Right.
The controller itself is so much more responsive. Like I feel like I never have to move or adjust my hands no matter what game I'm playing. My only complaint, and this is me just being nitpicky about it, is the bumpers, the left bumper and right bumper. I feel like you have to push on them a little bit too hard for my liking. Now I don't know if that's like maybe they have to break in a little bit.
Yeah.
But right now I feel like it's a little bit too hard, and they're not that bad. I mean, most of the moves that you're doing with left bumper, right bumper, just hold it and toss like a nade or a flashbang.
Right.
So.
Well, with the DualShock 3, I hated the DualShock 3. I thought it was just like it fit really small in my hands. I like with the Xbox controller how the thumbsticks are kind of ergonomically correct, I guess you could say.
Sure.
So I hated the DualShock 3. The DualShock 4 is leaps and bounds better. It is definitely PlayStation fans can be extremely excited about it. It's a better controller. It's better with shooters. There's triggers. The triggers are a little bit better. Significantly better, I should say. Just not better enough. I don't understand why they improved the triggers without making them just a little bit bigger. I feel like they're still lacking a little bit just in keeping your fingers on them.
Yeah.
But that might be me being a little nitpicky, but I think it's definitely a solid controller. With that said, I'd still take the 360 controller over it.
Sure, I mean, you did say it was the best controller ever made.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the One controller I think is better than the 360 controller, and the 360 is still better than the DualShock 4.
Okay. So. I can see your point. I haven't really played around with the PS4, the DualShock 4 too much, so, really I had my hands on it for about like 20 minutes, and I don't think that justifies it, so.
Yeah. But it's definitely usable. One of my biggest turnoffs with, PlayStation was the controller, the DualShock 3. I've bought more PlayStation 3 controllers than I bought Xbox 360 controllers, which says something when you consider the fact that I only had my PS3 for about 2 years, and during that time I probably used it like very limited. I was just constantly looking for better controller, so that it felt more like an Xbox controller, but I could never find one that I was comfortable with. So, with the PS4 though, that's gone. If I can go 46-5 in Battlefield, I think the controller's doing okay.
Sure, you're playing with a whole bunch of noobs on the PlayStation.
Well, there's always that too. So we talked a little bit about the Xbox interface. It's got the tiles, like you said, where you can actually pin all sorts of different apps and games right to the actual dashboard.
Yeah,
I like that
anything that you're going to use that you would want on the flick of a button is available.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I've got all my apps listed up there. With games, it really isn't too useful because you still have to have the game in the hard drive or in the disk drive.
Here's a big one though. If you went out and bought it,
right?
If you just did the digital download of the game, which all the games that are currently available are available on the digital download, right? You can just launch them from that. So and let me tell you, it takes less than 10 seconds for me to switch games.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, that's nuts. Going from Battlefield to Call of Duty, it takes about 10 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. It would take, like, your disk drive 10 seconds just to eject.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that feature. I love walking into my room and saying Xbox on, it just turns itself right on. That's really great.
I am enjoying watching TV through it, too.
Yeah, that's a feature I haven't gotten to try out yet. tell me a little bit about it, because I've heard a lot of people that have used it, but
it's essentially it's voice commands for your television. So I can say watch ESPN, go to DVR, but the downside with the DVR is I do have to have my phone handy and use smart glass as my remote, so that I can actually go through my DVR. So if you have a tablet, so it's not really replacing the remote in that case. And I need to get a little bit more into One Guide to find it useful. One Guide will think of it like a really advanced Pandora station, but for your TV stations and Netflix viewing.
Right.
One Guide will just put up all your favorites and make suggestions. So,
very nice.
So essentially, One Guide's supposed to be this super uber remote control between TV and your apps. And at some point it'll get there. It's just I'm not that far into it to find out.
Yeah, my cable box, I have to move the cable line, so and of course the cable box itself, so it's probably going to be a few weeks before I get the chance to do that.
Yeah.
I know that my buddy Chrome was saying last Sunday, I believe it was, that he was playing Dead Rising 3 while he had The Walking Dead snapped up into the corner. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome. I mean, I know a lot of PlayStation fans kind of made fun of that feature, but I don't see any harm in it. I think it's a really great idea. You kind of have that one console, one box to rule them all. I know that I've talked to a few people that are doing it, and they just rave about it. Especially the NFL integration with the NFL app. Have you had a chance to try that out yet?
I haven't actually. I was going to do it today, but with Turkey Day, there was just too much family in and out of my house today for me to really try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I hear
hopefully Sunday. I'll definitely take a look at it on Sunday and give you my opinion. Yeah,
that's definitely pretty much the main reason I want to get my cable box moved over, because it just looks like that's going to be really cool. As far as things that maybe aren't going so well, we've talked a lot about what we like about both the PS4 and the Xbox One. Well, I guess, is there anything that we've possibly missed that you're really digging so far?
Well, not really, but there are. I don't want to scream that everything's fine with it either.
Yeah.
There are a few little chat bugs. I definitely do not like the fact of I accept the party invite and then I have to turn party chat on. Don't like that. That's just an extra step that doesn't feel like it's easy. The friends list, you really have to go through your friends list, because now you can have 1,000 friends.
Right.
You have to go through your friends list and favorite, the ones that you play with all the time. Because if you don't favorite them, you're going to be cycling through this activity feed. So you go to friends, and your activity feed pops up, and you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. And you go to your friends list, and it looks almost identical to the activity feed. So why press an extra button, I guess, is part of my problem.
Right.
There's definitely a couple things, party-wise, that really, sells the Xbox for me, the ability to cross-chat, amongst games while my squad's getting on. So that, I think, needs to be worked out a little bit better. So I don't want to say it's all hunky-dory and there's no glitching whatsoever. The biggest disappointment for me, the number one absolutely most atrocious thing that I think Microsoft has ever done, is the fact that there's no support for third-party headsets right now.
Yeah.
That's a problem, man. I mean, they're in bed with Turtle Beach, at least, at minimum.
Right.
Because they have the PX7s or the X7s.
Right.
And they're just waiting for a puck now. I mean, there was a hack available, not a hack, but a mod available, on what was it, Indestructibles.com? Shout out.
Right.
That it took him 5 minutes to solder a 2.5 millimeter connector onto it, and boom, his headset's working again. If it's really that easy, because now the new headset, the new Xbox headset, it's got a little D to A converter inside the puck that attaches to the controller.
Right.
So all you have to do is use that. Like, that just seems really, really weird to me that they couldn't launch with support. I mean, they know everybody uses headsets. Well, I don't want to say everybody, but anybody that's a competitive shooter or a semi-competitive shooter uses a headset.
You know what else is crazy about that? Like, the optical out port doesn't even send out Dolby; it only sends out DTS. And none of the headsets actually support DTS.
Right. So there you go. There's another. Now I heard the Dolby Digital thing's coming. It was just a launch issue.
Right.
So I mean, they did make a lot of console changes in the last 5 months.
Right.
I mean, huge ones to make it work. You know,
right.
Because we as the players, we griped about a couple things that we just weren't happy about. So I understand some of it, but like the headset support is just unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. Like right now, I have to wear 2 headsets. Like, come on, who does that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, it's funny because I was doing a little bit of research about the quote-unquote official Xbox One approved headsets that are going to be coming out, and they're only going to be launching with that actual adapter.
Right.
It's not an actual... The headset itself isn't actually really an Xbox One headset.
Right.
It just comes with the adapter.
It's nothing new. It just has the adapter.
Yeah, so that's a little disappointing because honestly, I was... And that's not even... They're not even available yet either. So, because I was, after day one, kind of fed up, and I was like, hey, I can't deal with this this little headset. I gotta get either my 850s up and running, or I'll go buy a new one. I don't care.
Right, I would have bought a new one if one was available. Put it that way.
Yeah, there's nothing available till February.
Yeah, end of January at the earliest. But I'll tell you what, man. Bring your headset over to my house, man. I'll do the mod for you.
Ah, sweet. Well, I could definitely do that. So, one other thing that I
about, though. You know what I want to hear about? I really want to hear about Battlefield 4, bro. I've only got about 10 games in, and because I'm so into Call of Duty right now, the game just feels so busy. So I need to hear from your perspective, because you're really used to this, like, big map, huge things going on, vehicles everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that. There's one little last thing I wanted to talk about that is bothering me about the Xbox One.
Fine, mind.
Yeah, sorry. I think the store is kind of messy right now. I just don't... I find it hard to, like, find what I'm looking for. I also... there's no avatar store. There's no changing of the actual background. You can change your colors of your tiles and everything, but you can't actually put, like, a desktop or anything. And the same thing goes for the PS4. There's no backgrounds there either.
Time out. Have you tried Bing yet? I mean, I know it's not Google. I get that. We based on the profession that we're in real life, we're Googleites. But at the same time, dude, you're gonna try Bing. If you just say Xbox Bing Crimson Dragon, it opens the store, goes to it, and all relevant information. And then, I had cross-referenced just weird things, and it would pull up movies and reference my Netflix account, understanding I already had Netflix. It pulled up one of my Skype contacts. Like, it literally looked at everything that is me on the box that could possibly mean, like, Halo.
Yeah, maybe I'll get used to it.
That's pretty. Yeah. It's just a different way to do it. So now I understand your opinion immediately because it's not what you're used to. But there's also a different way to do it.
Right.
That's all. So definitely try Xbox Bing, and then something. I think you'll be happy. Put it that way.
I still wouldn't mind having a background and some more avatar stuff, but it's early. They changed the interface a number of times over the course of the Xbox 360. So Sorry, guys, I'm battling a cold here. Yeah, thanks. So, they started out with the blades. Remember that hideous-looking thing?
Yep.
And they moved it right along. So, anyway, yeah, Battlefield 4. My love-hate relationship with Battlefield 4. Let me just tell you, I want to love this game very much, and I do. But there's some issues for sure. It's not their best showing, I should say, as far as DICE is concerned. And it's not game-based, it's more infrastructure-based. Well, maybe I guess it is game-based because, there's just bad servers, there's bad infrastructure, bad, user interface. I'm a little frustrated.
Help our listeners out with the infrastructure side of things.
So on the infrastructure side, I mean, the game itself crashes constantly. It's really bad on PlayStation 3. Like, I literally had the game crash probably 5 or 6 times in the time I tried to play it.
PlayStation 3 or 4?
4, I should say.
Okay, yep.
It literally crashes right to the dashboard. You get this big error screen. I had a video that I put up showing what happens. And it wasn't just happening during multiplayer. It was happening during single player. Like, I would be rolling right along. It would crash. I would try to load it back up. It would tell me I had a corrupt file. I deleted the installation. I reinstalled it. No luck. There is a patch that came out yesterday on the PS4 side. I haven't downloaded it yet to see if it works better, but that's pretty frustrating for a game that ended up, I think, outselling Call of Duty at launch on the next-gen consoles. It's kind of one of those ones that everybody was buying. So yeah, and that's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg too. They've got server browsing.
Let's not get into a complete hate session. What do you like about it? What's new?
Well, there's definitely a lot of really cool features that I love. Obliteration mode is awesome. It's one of my go-to game modes right now. It's basically each side has 3 bomb sites, and a bomb randomly spawns somewhere in the middle, and the point of the game is to destroy the 3 bomb sites.
Okay.
So, excuse me. It's a lot of fun. On the 360 and the PS3, it was 12v12. On the new consoles, it's 16v16.
Nice.
And just having those extra 4 players makes a huge difference. One of the big things going to the new generation, the 4 and the 1, is Conquest has 64-man maps finally. So 32 versus 32. Now,
so not just PC like it was in the last generation.
Exactly. So these huge maps definitely feel a lot smaller now because you're cruising along. I mean, there's battles everywhere, and it's pretty intense. I haven't played enough of the bigger maps because they weren't working on the PlayStation 4 during launch week, and they're still not steadily working right now on the Xbox One either. The biggest problem with it is to actually get in those matches, you have to do... The server browser doesn't really work very well, number one. And if it does work, it just shows you nothing but empty servers. It's weird. I have found a little bit of a workaround. If you actually go to the Battlelog website and try to actually do you can actually launch the game from Battlelog. That you can sometimes find a couple maps open, but it's been a bit of a challenge as far as that goes. I love the nautical warfare. Give me a boat over a tank any day of the week.
Stop the presses. Did Jay Shockcast just say he'd rather be in a boat than a tank?
I'm on a boat. A boat.
You lived your career off of a tank in Battlefield 3.
So don't get me wrong. I am still in a tank when I'm on the land. But my go-to map is this map called PARACEL Storm, and you give me the boat every time. My top vehicle right now is a boat. It's crazy, but like I just go beast mode on it, man.
That's
like,
awesome, man.
Yeah, it can be hard because, obviously you've got the water to deal with, so, the ground isn't as steady, but, I don't know, I just feel like I'm in my element there. And I go back and forth between, having surface-to-air missiles and having the TV missile, just depending on what's going on in the actual game. And the really great thing about it is, I don't even have to use the actual game menu to make that change. I actually just have Battlelog open on my computer right next to me, and it's literally like the click of a couple buttons on my mouse, and I've updated my whole kit if I really want to. So, I think in that regard, they've done a really great job of making it kind of integrated seamlessly, between tablet and computer and console, having them all kind of talk to each other. But
that's old hat. The Elite app had that. Last gen, bro. Last gen feature, bro.
Yeah, I never used the Elite app, so I guess I wasn't aware. But I can tell you what Elite didn't do. It didn't let you play Battlefield or Call of Duty from your tablet.
This is true.
And that's something that I can do with Commander Mode. So they finally launched Commander Mode on iOS and Android. It's only on tablet, so you can't do it on an actual smartphone. And basically, you are the 65th or 66th man of the match, and you can actually, call in support for people that are playing the game live. I mean, it's kind of like a top-down strategy game of sort that you're doing with live people. So
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, you're throwing up UAVs, you're throwing up counter UAVs, based on the flags that your team is carrying. You get additional support, like I could do an infantry scan, sometimes it'll give you a cruise missile, so I can pad that KD by, launching cruise missiles and getting kills. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Could be just sitting there, dropping a deuce, playing Battlefield 4. So, that might be a little TMI, but...
TMI, bro. Yeah, TMI.
Yeah. So, the game itself, I love the game itself. I love all the maps. Operation Locker, I do not like, but that's just me. It's their best attempt at making another Operation Metro. It's very claustrophobic. The problem I have with it is there's just too many levels, and I don't even want to get involved in a 64-man match on that map. That would probably have me pull my hair out. But as far as every other map goes, they're really cool. They've introduced Levolution, which is definitely a game changer. There are different things that can happen over the course of a game on individual maps. So, for instance, PARACEL Storm I was talking about, it's kind of, if you play the single-player campaign, you kind of understand what's going on, where there's a bunch of naval boats that are sunk in the water around these islands. And there's one boat in particular that's being kind of held up by a huge turbine. And if you actually shoot down the turbine, the boat will dislodge, and it will actually crash into the island and take out the flag. I think it's like the sea flag. So the flag is actually on the boat. So that's kind of one example. I mean, everybody's seen Siege of Shanghai, where you can actually shoot down that skyscraper in the middle.
Yeah.
But there's other ones there's a map called Flood Zone, where it's this little shanty town. So there's lots of buildings to go in and out of, and you're doing most of your fighting on the top of a roof. But then there's actually a levee that you can actually shoot out, and it will flood the map so that the first two levels of the shantytown village are underwater, and you're really only battling on the rooftop.
Oh, is that the dam level, Land King Dam?
No, it's actually called Flood Zone.
Oh, Flood Zone.
Yeah, the dam level, I heard there's a way you can kind of break that wall.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that one yet myself.
I caught a glimpse of it in a YouTube video that I was watching, preparing for this podcast. But.
Yeah, so Flood Zone, honestly, Flood Zone's a fun map too. I think like the Call of Duty players that are trying to switch over, that's like a map that they're really going to enjoy. Another thing I want to say though is Conquest Domination, or I guess it's just called Domination at this point.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most Call of Duty game mode in my opinion. It's very, very fast paced. Smaller maps. It just happens to be that if somebody's ducking in a corner, you shoot out the corner.
Okay.
One thing that, and I know that I'm kind of like all over the place going back and forth. One thing that is a little strange is they've introduced something called battle packs, where every 2 levels you get a battle pack, and there's a bronze, silver, and gold level. Obviously, bronze you get 3 items, silver 4, and gold you get 5. And you can get anything from a red dot sight for a gun to an avatar item for your battle log, or you can even get like a double XP, like an hour of double XP. So you get those pretty often.
I get an hour of 200% XP.
I've not gotten any 200% XPs yet.
Yeah, I got an hour. I was so stoked. It's like,
so here's
only available in gold pack, quote unquote.
Yeah. Here's my concern with it though, is this is obviously at some point something they're gonna like let you buy, these battle packs. There's a promotion going on right now with Slim Jim, where if you buy a bunch of Slim Jims, they all come with Battlefield codes as long as they're the specially marked packages. And I was actually able to get a gold battle pack, bronze and a silver battle pack, and double XP. Like, it came with 3 100% double XP tokens, just by buying 7 Slim Jims. So my concern is that's going to be where they're going to bring in the microtransactions, where you can just buy battle packs. And that kind of turns it into a little bit of play to win, or pay to win, I should say.
Yeah.
Not totally, but maybe just a little bit. I think it cheapens it a little bit, and that's definitely EA's kind of like iron clutches being put on the game.
Yeah.
The campaign is okay. I mean, it's a campaign. I've played through it probably 7 or 8 times, just trying to get all the achievements. But it's not bad. I liked it. I think overall though, and I think you might feel the same way about Ghost. I'm not sure yet. I feel like this game was rushed a little bit so that it would be ready for the launch of the console.
Yeah.
There's never really been any complaint for me on the yearly kind of releases of certain games.
Yeah.
But this one, it shows that, they really needed more time to polish this off. I could probably keep going about a lot of the things that are bothering me, but I really just don't want to harp on it.
Yeah.
Infrastructure-wise, little things obviously the server browser not working is a huge one, but, there's no party system at all. And this was a game that, already suffered deficiencies by only letting you group up with 4 people. Now you can't group up with anybody. Excuse me. And you have to hope that you can just get in the same game with them. And even that is a challenge sometimes. So I feel like I'm not playing with my friends nearly as much as I want to.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I mean, it's definitely tough to, you basically have to just join a game from the menu to try to get in with friends.
Yeah, and just hope that there's free spots,
Right.
So that's unfortunate because I think one of the things that Call of Duty has always done well, and I will always sing their praises for, is they've made it easy for people to get into games together.
Yeah.
So, I would have loved to have seen Battlefield do a couple things differently, but in the grand scheme of things, like, the game itself is a lot of fun. There's a really interesting selection of guns to work with. There's a lot of really cool new vehicles. All the game modes are a lot of fun. The maps are gorgeous. They're very well made. The Levolution really adds an extra dynamic to it. I would, if it wasn't for like the infrastructure stuff and the user interface stuff and the way that you actually, interact with your friends and try to get into games with friends, I would be just raving about it. Hopefully they can get all that server stuff taken care of and the game can be a little bit more consistent. But I think it's fantastic. Definitely worthy of the Battlefield name as far as map design and everything goes. Operation Locker, I know some people that love it, but that's really the only map that I'll back out of a game for.
Oh, nice.
So, but that's quite a bit about Battlefield 4, which was one of two major launch titles for the first-person shooter genre. How about that Call of Duty Ghost?
Oh my God! First off, it's not everybody's Call of Duty.
Right.
I have to start by saying that, so not everybody's gonna like it. If players haven't enjoyed it in like 6 years, but it's like their game type, the kind of 6-on-6, like heavy shooters, tough competition, a lot of smack talk. If you like Call of Duty 4, I'll just get down to it. If you like Call of Duty 4, you will absolutely, unquestionably like Ghost. It feels like Call of Duty 4. It's more up to the shooter. It's not about all kill streaks. The kill streaks themselves can be overpowered if you get there, right? Like, even the dog at 5 kills can be very annoying and definitely get you when you're down. It's kind of like a really good martyrdom grenade that follows you all over the place. But more importantly, it really is. It's all about, one-on-one gameplay. It's all about your gun versus my gun and how is your kit tuned to the way that you play. Right. The whole pick 10 system's back. So there's no real huge innovation, but it does feel like there's a ton more than there used to be. I don't think that's it. I don't have to spend points now to get like 3 perk 3s. That's all gone. Everything's just on a board and you pick what you want. So it's definitely a little bit more versatile. You don't have to spend a prestige token to unlock something early. You just have to spend what they call squad points. Now, you earn squad points by winning a game and doing objectives inside a game. Okay? Every once in a while when you kill somebody, a little blue briefcase drops. That blue briefcase has a challenge, like a mini challenge in it. Like, and there are, kill an enemy while jumping, melee an enemy, get a 3 kill streak without using a kill streak.
Right.
And when you do that, you get not only do you get a squad point, but you get a care package. There's no more care package. You can't pick that as a item anymore.
Right.
As a kill streak item. You just get it from there, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't played as much of it as I probably would have liked to.
Yeah.
But I've definitely got a few care packages, and I feel like the times I've got the care packages, it's because I had to teabag somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's the funnest one. It says humiliate your next opponent, and like everybody's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know how to do this. Like this care package, I don't know how to use it." And the funny part is, it really is just teabagging someone. So that's pretty hysterical.
I agree. So I guess the challenge for me now that I've become so like engrossed in the Battlefield style of gameplay is I'm used to like if somebody's hiding behind a wall, just blow up the wall. Like, and it gets frustrating for me. I think I started off pretty good, but I just had a really bad stretch of games here a little bit ago. What do you think of the map so far? Like, how do they stack up versus other maps in the Call of Duty catalog, because I don't know if I'm really feeling them quite yet.
I hate to keep throwing references back to old Call of Duties, but I think at least for anybody that's listening that is a Call of Duty player, they'll understand what I'm talking about a little bit more.
Sure.
So it's like Modern Warfare 2, where in Modern Warfare 2, the big thing that they were trying to do with maps is try to make them have a little bit more vertical to them. So it's
right.
multiple levels, shooting across, like trying to find the best gun position. With the game so new, it's really, really promoting people that are patient. It's not a run and gun game right now.
Yeah.
You go down so quick. I mean, almost all of these guns are like 2-3 shots to the chest or down. So there's no up, twitch, turn around, boom, kill you. It's like, no, if I had better position on you, you're dead. So
right.
and that was Call of Duty 4-esque. Better position always won over the better shooter. So, but I love it.
Which drives me nuts.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's more about me being in the right spot. Now that doesn't mean camp. That means me moving tactically. If I'm going to run into a building, flash it first. It's not that hard. Some of the things that they have added. The new tracker site's pretty cool. I think it was a good way to minimize target finder. It's essentially target finder. It lights them up in this orange hue. Where target finder was a little OP. You get this big red diamond when somebody pokes their head out. So that was pretty cool. They've added the lean function, which is pretty cool. There's definitely some spots. You can see some of the better shooters are picking up on that. Letting only half your body come out of cover instead of your whole body's a pretty big win as far as I'm concerned. But it's not as goofy as like Gears of War, slide into something and stay there until they kill you.
Right.
So I'm happy. I mean, there's definitely advances into in the right motion. Spawns are still crazy right now. I know they do a lot of learning. They do a lot of investigation on where the heat maps are and how to progress the battle, but at the same time not feel like you're killed in the back all the time, as you would say.
Would you maybe even call that surprise butt sex? Because I know I do.
Yeah, in fact, you tend to have it a lot, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious, especially when I'm raging about it. So, yeah, I think that's the part that's been the most frustration for me, is the fact that it is still learning the spawns. I feel like way too many times I spawn in somebody standing right in front of me. But I know that that's something that'll be fixed as it learns, the situation a little bit better, because I know it is a learning system.
Right.
I've played a little bit of the campaign, and, I know that most people could care less about, the campaign when it comes to these games. There's like, just give me the multiplayer, that's all I want. And, but, I mean, Call of Duty has always been known for having a bit of a Hollywood-type, campaign, where it's a full-on production, where you really get a lot out of it. And it started out that way with this little space mission, but from there, it's almost seemed a little rushed, the story. It's like, alright, we got our epic spot, now let's go ahead and finish the chapter. So, I don't know how far in I am. I'm probably about at least 33% of the way through, maybe even close to half of the way. But just feel like there's a couple things that are just not there. I don't know if they're missing, but they're just not there,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know this game had a campaign.
Yeah, that's fair. So,
I go right into multiplayer. I'm a shooter, man.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm an achievement whore, so yeah, I'm gonna play the campaign. There are female players in multiplayer now. You can actually make your character a female. That's certainly pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a nice touch. I need to play it more, admittedly. I just get frustrated because it is so different than Battlefield, and I do definitely prefer that Battlefield style of gameplay just so much more. And I feel like what benefits Battlefield is it's easy for them to, put out a Call of Duty style gameplay, and it's a lot harder for Call of Duty to do the opposite.
Okay.
So, I think what really surprised me was, it's usually a foregone conclusion that, Call of Duty is going to be the biggest selling game of the year, and it probably will be when it's all said and done. But as far as next gen is concerned, Battlefield 4 actually was outselling Call of Duty through like the first week or two.
Well, sure. I mean, it also had a week on it, right?
Right.
And the PlayStation also had a week on the Xbox. And I do think Call of Duty is more of a Xbox heavy game. I mean, am I wrong in saying that? I guess I should probably check the numbers before I say anything like that.
Well, both of them are going to be Xbox heavy, just because of the fact that they both have those exclusive DLC deals with it.
Right.
So, both Xbox One will get, DLC first from both companies.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that this is the best Call of Duty game ever made. I mean, I know that my opinion is, some people might take it with a grain of salt. That's fair. But I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's something that's not drawing me to it. And I also feel like...
It's called boats and Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, it's also should be worth noting that, this is the first time that 3 different studios have been involved in making this game. Usually it goes Treyarch, then Infinity Ward, Treyarch, then Infinity Ward. But this time around they had Sledgehammer and Raven Studios working on it. And I'm just kind of wondering, how that played into the final product.
Yeah, I would have liked to bet a fly on the wall when they were deciding what stays and what goes. I mean,
right.
Generally speaking, a couple of the developers' blogs, we're
right.
really talking about we have all these ideas and just, I don't want to say not enough. They didn't say not enough time, but you could definitely tell that's what they were insinuating.
Right.
We have all these ideas, but I think it really comes down to at some point the director just has to be like, no, that's just too much. Remember, we're mad in here. Next year we have to have a new feature.
Right. Have you tried the squads or extinction modes yet?
Yeah, extinction mode's really cool. It's also in dire need of another map. Dire need of another map. But extinction is awesome. I mean, I love zombies. I have
right.
logged countless amounts of hours in zombies, just trying to get to the next wave or trying to do the next Easter egg. Extinction
right.
is really cool because, it's zombies, but it's a different genre at the same time. It's alien horde. So it feels,
right.
not to talk about Gears again, but it does feel like Gears all over again.
Right. Well, that's definitely what struck me when I saw it was announced. Is that it looked like it was going to be a bit like that type of horde mode. But that's cool. I like anything that you can do cooperatively. Way more than anything you can do like PvP. So I'm glad to see that there are those cooperative opportunities.
Sure. People that can't shoot need to be able to have fun in this game too.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but people that just want to kick back and play with their friends want to be able to do that without the pressure of multiplayer, I think.
I was just...
I definitely... Yeah. So the next generation is here. What happens now? I mean, we've got, the 2 first shooters... Excuse me. The 2 first shooters, are out and on the map. what are you excited for in the coming months?
There's only one thing I'm excited for, man. In all honesty, there's only one thing that matters, and the fact that I watched the E3 demo like 4 times yesterday is just letting you know that as far as my radar is concerned, like the Division is all I care about right now. I think Titanfall is going to be cool. You know, I guess Elder Scrolls when it comes out is going to be cool.
Right.
But for me, the only thing I really care about is going to be this Division. It just looks so tight.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you completely. When I saw that demo at E3, my mind was blown. Anything that has, you know, Tom Clancy involved with it is obviously going to, you know, be interesting. You know, this is an open world, you know, first-person shooter, or actually it's third-person. But it also has, you know, those RPG shooter elements.
Yeah, it's like an MMO RPG FPS. I mean, if you like Call of Duty and maybe you loved Borderlands, like this is definitely going to be the game. Like you just took my 2 favorite games of all time and put them into one.
Yeah. So I'm definitely interested in that one as well. What I could also say I'm looking forward to, obviously, is Watch Dogs. That got pushed back. Destiny and Titanfall look like they're going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
so,
Destiny does look good too.
Yeah, so definitely looking forward to those. You know, I think that, you know, there's not a whole lot of difference between the 2 consoles. You know, graphics are moderately better on the PS4, but I think you get a better entertainment experience, you know, with the Xbox One. I think they're both great consoles, though. You really can't go wrong either way.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, you know, what's going to happen next. You know, obviously I play a lot of games, so, you know, those 3, you know, shooters I'm definitely looking forward to. Also looking forward to, you know, the Elder Scrolls Online, like you said.
Yeah.
I was involved in the beta that went by this weekend, but I was too busy playing with my Xbox One to actually get myself into the beta, so I missed out on that. But it looks like it's going to be a great game. I really am looking forward to that. Also, would be remiss if I didn't mention The Witcher 3. That game's going to be absolutely incredible. So, obviously not very much in the shooter realm, but still, games we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I can appreciate it. I mean, we all want to take a break from shooting people in the face every once in a while.
Exactly. So, but you know, hey, we've got another show in the books finally.
All right.
Definitely appreciate everybody for checking it out. Dealing with my cold.
Yeah, leave some comments. Let us know what you want to hear about. You know, we'll go review anything. We'll record whatever video you want to. So, you know, be open about it. Let us know you're a fan. Let us know you want us to keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but you know, let us know what you think of Call of Duty and Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One if you've had the chance to play them. Definitely open for discussion. Looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. But for now, it is a shade after midnight, and I don't know about you, man, but I gotta work in the morning, so...
Yeah, me too.
Actually, I know about you. You do have to work as well, so... let's go ahead and peace out. Thank you for listening, and we will catch everyone later.
Take it easy, guys.
Alright, thanks. Peace.
We no longer hold Objective Charlie. We have lost control of Objective Charlie. taken objective Bravo. Objective Charlie has just been neutralized. Objective Charlie now neutralized. We now control Objective Charlie. Lost Objective Charlie. We have neutralized Objective Charlie. We've taken Objective Charlie. been neutralized.